Hey, TalkLife. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to get together today, just have a quick chat. I've been a bit quiet actually over the last month, and part of that is trying to get a little bit of time to switch off over the holidays, but also there's just been so much going on, and I needed some time to sort of pull back a little bit. And, I've been doing this for so many years now, and I think when you're running a company, you never really get a chance to switch off, and you go to sleep and you think about fundraising and platform and comments and feedback and team and staff and COVID and everything else. And you never get that moment to just sort of chill out, because, everything rides on the decisions you're making, and you often, it feels so much bigger than it needs to be when you're running your own company. And yeah, so over the holidays, I had a couple of weeks off with the family and just hung out with the kids. And our 2.5-year-old is a character, and it's so nice just to sort of get home and hang out and see how they're growing. And our 1-year-old turned 1 over the weekends, which is nice. No party, obviously, but still a really nice thing. And in the back of my mind, there's been so much going on in the world as well, and I've wanted to come out and say something, but I'm actually not sure. And this is something I want to discuss with you today. I don't know if my view is completely right or wrong. And I don't want to just say something for the sake of saying it either. So that's kind of where I've pulled back slightly over the last couple of weeks. But we'll discuss that today. Working from home, you've got the side camera here. So I hope that I'm sure it's going to piss someone off, but that's okay. You're just going to have to deal with it. I'm not adjusting it. First of all, TalkLife is getting an update tomorrow that goes live to the store. The team have been working over the last month on refactoring a lot of Android and iOS, improving a lot of performance issues and speeding a lot of things up. It's also got some new password complexity things in there. The menus have changed to all be the same for those people that hate the menus, myself included. And then the team, over the coming weeks, are working on a brand new, actually, this should be going into testing tomorrow, a brand new notification system where finally, I hear so many of you say, you'll be able to break down those notifications into, post comments, tagged comments. What do you want to hear? What don't you want to hear? And I want this system myself. So that's cool. We sort of throughout the next year really wanting to improve what we do and not try to create so many features, just making sure that TalkLife is working and it does what you need it to do. And I know that there are so many devices out there to support and so many challenges. Our team isn't massive, so your help and beta help on this front is obviously super important. We also are sort of moving towards that system that I talked about last year, that honor system, where if you're a helpful member of the community, you'll sort of have access to all of the features. If you're a super toxic or troll, or you're looking to harm other members of the community, you'll have some features restricted. And everyone will start with all of the features, and then we'll sort of slowly move some features out. And then if you're sort of a super helpful member of the community, those volunteering pathways to go into being a buddy or a moderator will open up as well. Obviously, we're building a system that can't be gamed, and you're not going to be able to target others. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this. I think community, moderation and community safeguarding and community trust is so important with a place like TalkLife, and actually any network as well. So as that gets built, I'm going to have a lot of extra information for you on that. There's lots of things to iron out. We're going to do this with you, so it's not just a system that you're going to say, this is terrible. What is bad about living at home is just the coffee. We've got an espresso machine, and I just drink Nespresso all day long. And anyway, we're also going to be putting in a new rules system just to make it clearer on what some of the guidelines and rules are in TalkLife, and you'll be able to see these in an easier format, and they'll be easier and digestible. I know we've got the guidelines sort of plastered everywhere we talk about them, but sometimes you might not understand what the context is behind that as well. So yeah, that's the updates. Nothing too crazy or fancy, but just sort of solid updates. Now, moving on to the point I was rambling about at the start, Trump, the moderation, removing accounts and banning of accounts on Twitter and other Parler and other systems. And first off, I've got friends at Twitter that probably in this team that made this decision, and it can't have been an easy decision for them to remove Trump from their platform. We know if you look at a shareholder or a return on investment for shareholders, Trump is a cash cow and would have brought a lot of engagement to the platform. People logged in every day just to see what Trump was going to say. So from a Twitter perspective, there must have been so many variables and factors that came into play with this decision and pressures from different sides. And I'm completely aware of the political landscape and the pressures that social networks are under right now to moderate and some of the restrictions that are going to come into place over the coming years in the freedom social networks have, I think, at the moment, with the content that they can get away with not taking responsibility for. I'm completely aware of that sort of landscape. However, I feel, everyone knows that I'm a strong moderation advocate, and I think that if people are breaching the guidelines, they should be removed from any platform. However, I think if you have an elected official or a leader that's put into place, we should have the right to keep those people accountable and to see what they're saying, rather than forcing that conversation underground or forcing it to places where they can get away with whatever they want, like on Parler or other platforms, without anyone being able to keep them to account. In the facts, removing Trump from Facebook and Twitter is not going to help or reduce radicalization of young people, or reduce groups threatening violence or harm to others. What we saw at the Capitol building was an absolute disgrace, and I don't think that social networks could have picked that up or moderated that out. I think it's really hard to determine those serious threats from just the comment keyboard warriors. But equally, by bringing that into Twitter, you allow moderation and safeguarding teams to keep a better tab on it as well. You allow them to keep it in one place in Trump's comment timeline or in a public setting. So I think this is a massive mistake. I don't think it's censorship. I don't think, I think when you're on a public network or a network like TalkLife, if you're posting inappropriate content, illegal behaviors, graphic discussion around self-injury or other things that are harmful to the wider community, then it needs to be removed. However, if they are our leaders and we need to keep them to account, we've got to be able to see the content and what they're thinking as well. So I've been really torn with this, and some of my friends are staunch conservatives, some are as far left as you can get, and I like to think of myself as quite neutral, but also passionate about certain themes. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think. It's been a couple of weeks, and I don't feel that I completely am in a position to I think there's arguments both ways for what's going on, and I think we need to be really careful when we start silencing people that are in those elected positions. However, I completely understand the temporary banning, and I think that was correct, but a permanent ban, I'm not sure. I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. We have to be really careful in moderation and safeguarding. Many of you would say, well, this person is a pedophile. They're trying to request, children's pictures. And yes, I 100% think that they should be banned immediately from the platform and illegal. But then on the flip side, you're also saying, well, this person inciting violence and this person, spewing hate speech or racism, that's freedom of speech, and removing that is censorship. I think we all tend to switch towards the subjective, and we all tend to gravitate towards what we think is best. So look, I think the Twitter ban is, if it was on TalkLife, I've been talking to our team about this, if it was on TalkLife, we would have to judge the content, and did the content breach the guidelines? Yes. In many respects it did. However, again, as an elected official, I feel that we need to have some scope there, not because we want them to get their message out, but because we need to be able to keep them accountable, and we need to be able to see what they're saying. So I'm keen to hear your thoughts. We have a different problem in our trust and safety teams in terms of predatory behavior and all kinds of moderation challenges. And some of you would say, well, we need to take a parlor style approach where anything goes. Others would say we need to be heavier on moderation and not give anyone a chance to learn or to understand how to behave in an online environment. And yeah, it's an evolving space. 10 years ago, we wouldn't have been talking about moderation teams. We were talking about building engagement and getting these networks out there. Now they're enormous, and we have millions of young people on TalkLife. We, as a community, have to be able to moderate and to keep that safe. And we need to decide on what's appropriate and where those boundaries are as well. So this is my 2 cents. I could be completely off track, and I'm open to hearing opinions. But that's my thoughts. I'm not going to edit this video, as you know. I'm going to throw it up. If you like it, thanks. Let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. If you want to leave a comment or your thoughts, please do. And I love you guys, and I'll try to put these videos out more. Ciao.